Hey guys, hope y'all are doing well. Well, today I'm actually going to be working on repairing our headliner in our minivan. And as you can see right here, you see how it's falling down, which is one of the common problems with this year or generation of minivans. And as you can see over on the passenger side, it's doing the same thing. It's not too bad, and because it's actually about 80 degrees in the garage, it's actually hanging down more than usual. Usually when the temperatures are cool or when I'm running AC, the fabric actually, instead of stretching, it compresses, so it doesn't look as bad. But as you can see, the rest of it looks just fine. So all I'm going to be doing is just using some headliner adhesive, or glue rather, to just repair this. But I'm going to take the whole thing down, and I thought to take you along with me because I haven't seen any videos on YouTube as to how to take this particular model headliner down. My thought is I'm going to take off all of the sun visors, and I'm going to take off the sunglass holder here, or the upper center console. I'm going to take off the rear havoc controls here. Not sure about the lights. I have to test that there. And yeah, then I'm going to just kind of work my way around the actual vent covers. I'm going to leave those in because I believe the actual the tube that allows the air to flow through, I believe it's connected to the headliner here, so I shouldn't have to remove those since I'm only pulling the headliner back as far as like right here to repair this. I'm going to take the hooks off there, and then I'm going to go and do all of the pillars, pulling them down. Those are going to be last. So let's get started. Okay, so to remove the overhead console, it's only one screw that you need to remove. So just flip the sun visor down, and you can see the screw right here. It's actually a star head, so you'll need a T25 star bit in order to remove it. So all you got to do is just remove the screw like so. Try not to lose it, and then to remove it, you just grab on both sides here to pull down. I'll show you. So you just grab the sides and pull down, and then there's going to be two wires here that you need to make sure that you want to do, that you remove, which this is one. Oh, it's kind of hard for me to get to it. So that's one. And then this is the other one. It's kind of hard to get the tab on this one because of because it's really smashed in here. Okay, and that's it. So this is removed. So now I'm about to remove the driver's side sun visor. Again, these are star screws. There's 3 of them that need to be removed, and it's pretty much the same size, the T25. All right, so I have it removed. Make sure that you pull the wire down because it's actually tucked all the way back up in here. And this is the connector here. And all you need is a screwdriver to undo this. You just, you just use a screwdriver on this part right here and pry it up. Okay, so finally got the headliner out, and this is basically what it looks like here. What you'll notice is that all the wires are just one piece. So as you can see here, this is actually hangs down the side of the driver's side pillar, which is basically right here. It goes all the way down here, and the way to unhook it is you pull this back and then you unhook it from right here. And it's the same on the opposite side with the driver's side. So this is the third row light. This right here is the second row light. These are the habit controls here, and as you can see, there's a bracket on here, and it looks like it's been glued on here. So if the glue comes up, it'll actually come off. Oh, let me get the bracket for this. Okay, so this is the bracket for the overhead console, and it's not fixed on here or glued or anything like that. So you can actually remove this once you pull the headliner down and out. And then right here, these are the lights for the sun visor on both sides. These were actually glued, like right here. So be careful when you pull it, because you don't want to break any of the wires, which I don't believe I did. And let me just show you this right here. This is basically the tube that the air for the rear air goes through. So it flows through here, this piece right here, and right here this attaches to the blower motor. There's another connector right here, so it blows through on both sides. So this again is attached to it. Only problem with this is, by me pulling this out, this is actually glued down. It's not fixed or anything. So I've got to re-glue this, because as you can see here, this will allow air to come through. So I've got to re-glue this, and that came apart probably because of me trying to maneuver this to get this out. And it's like that on both sides. So let me turn it over so you can see the other side. Okay, so here's the headliner turned over, and as you can see, the rest of it, it's not coming up or anything. Yeah, all the corners seem fine. I'm actually going to check it. As you can see, I left the vent covers in because I didn't have to remove those, since I don't plan on replacing the whole thing. The only part is this upper part right here that I'm going to try to replace. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. And then this right here, I did that. I had an idea of trying to spray some glue in here. Well, that didn't work out so well. So I'm going to attempt to glue this down and see what happens. And then if it doesn't work, then I'm going to just have to replace the whole liner here. Okay, so I went on ahead and ripped back as much as I could, and as you can see, the fabric actually, came off pretty good from the foam. But my problem is, I believe I'm gonna have a problem when I try to lay this down again, even if I only put the glue right here, because if you see how it's coming up. Then the other thing is that usually the fabric and the foam come together as one piece, and you just lay it out and you glue it all at one time, and then you cut out everything. So I think instead of me trying to fight with this, I'm just going to rip this off and go ahead and just replace the whole headliner. That way I know for sure that I'm not going to have any problems, because there are just like too many grooves in here, and it's just too many ways for me to just really to mess this up. And I'm not trying to do that. It'll probably take about a week or so, maybe 2 weeks before it comes, because I haven't ordered it yet. I actually have some samples coming so I can match up what I need. So let me go ahead and tear this off. I'm actually going to have to pop the these out here, which let me show you. Which they popped out pretty easy. They're held in by 4 clips. So be careful, because I broke one, as you can see right there. So I'm gonna pop these out, and yeah, and then just go ahead and grip this off. I'm gonna sand the board and vacuum it off and clean it up real nice. So I got the fabric off, and now I'm about to scrape off all of the foam, and you see, man, it really stuck on there pretty good. So I'm going to be using a combination of these 2 scrapers here, which is probably going to take me a little while, but yeah, it's okay. Okay, so I removed all of the foam, and as you can see, you know, there's still a little bit of foam and glue left, not much. But I want to try to remove this, and what I did was I used a combination of my scrapers and my 6-inch DA sander, and yeah, I did a pretty decent job. It took me 3 hours to remove all this on here. So what I'm about to do now is I'm about to use my angle grinder here, angle sander. It's 2-inch, and I'm going to use 320 grit to just go over the rest, over the whole thing, and just see if I can kind of get some more of this stuff up off of here. Okay, so I'm all done prepping the board, and as you can see, I pretty much got all of the fabric off. The only challenge that I had is that if you look close, you'll see that, you know, this is some kind of fabric. It's not a solid surface necessarily. So, you know, you get these little, you know, hairballs here that's kind of hard to get off, even after vacuuming it with my shop vac. But for the most part, I got all of it off, and I shouldn't have any problem once I use the headliner spray, the cement, you know, to spray it on here, because it should stick pretty good. And I sanded it down, you know, it turned out, you know, pretty good. So another thing, you know, I don't know if I mentioned it, but make sure that you cover your vent holes so that you don't get stuff all up in there, because if you do, you're going to have to vacuum it out, and it's going to be kind of hard. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over and work on gluing the actual vent tube back to the board, and I've got some Gorilla Glue that I'm going to use for that. Okay, so what I'm about to do now is I made up some soap and water, hot water. I'm using some regular Dawn dish soap, and I'm going to just go ahead and wipe down all of the plastic underneath where I need to glue, and, you know, just kind of clean it up, because as you can see here, you know, there's like a lot of dirt on there, so might as well just go ahead and clean it up. So after doing a bunch of research online, I decided that the best route for me to attach the air ducts back onto the board is to use a heat gun. So this is my heat gun here, and these are the glue sticks that I'm actually going to be using. And these are rated for maximum of 130 degrees, which I know inside the vehicle it gets much hotter than that. But from everything that I saw and the ability to be able to apply it where I need to apply it, this just seems like the best route to go. I also did a test, which this is some metal here, and this is some PVC. And as you can see, I glued it on there. I actually applied a lot of glue, more than what I would when I'm gluing these heat ducts back on to the board. But anyway, I had my oven turned up to about 209 degrees, and it held up. It did soften up to the point where I would be able to pull these two pieces apart. Not easily, but enough where, yeah, I could pull it apart. Now, it didn't get runny or anything, so I'm okay with that, especially since this, all this is going to be pushed up against the roof, so I don't see it as being a problem with it coming loose, because they use some kind of glue to hold this down, and I couldn't find anything online as far as what did they use on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually test the glue out to see, just how it adheres to the headliner here. And I'm on this is the driver's side wire for the vanity mirror. So I'm going to put some glue right here, and then I'm going to put the wire into it, and I'm going to see, if it kind of burns through. So here we go. And you see it is a little runny, but yeah, we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and push this down on there and see if it actually holds it. Now, the other thing I need to point out is this particular Gorilla Glue, it actually is supposed to allow more time before it cools, before it bonds the two pieces together. I read, depending on the outside temperature, about 45 seconds, which I think is actually pretty good compared to other glue sticks that I actually were looking at. So you see, it's on there pretty good. So yeah, this is on high too. So what I did notice is that it is a little runny when I was applying it. So I'm glad I actually did this test, because now I'll know how to, when I start actually doing the air ducts down there. So this was actually glued down too, and one side came up, so I removed all the old glue, and I'm actually going to apply some glue under here. And it actually looks like they use a hot glue gun too for this, so yeah, we'll see. And also, one of the other reasons why I choose the hot glue method is because this actually sets faster, usually in about 15 minutes, whereas a lot of the other glues that I looked at, it took like, you had to have the piece pressed down for like 2 hours or something like that, in which for this type of project, I didn't want to waste that much time doing that. So I'm going to let this set up, and then I'm going to go ahead and do everything else, and I'll show you the end result. So check it out. I'm all done. I went on ahead, as you can see, I sealed all the way around. I sealed underneath, and then I put another extra layer of glue right here, and I did that for both sides. You want to be especially careful here that you put some glue here too as well on both ends, and it worked really well. It actually took me maybe about an hour to do all of this. You know, I took my time, I didn't rush. I also replaced some of the glue that they had already had on here, like this one here. I just scraped it off and then put some new glue there. But man, it worked really well. The glue probably only had to hold the piece down for maybe about a minute, maybe even less than that for it to hold. It took a little longer for it to cool down, but this glue bonded very well, and I'm happy with how it turned out. I really am. So another issue that came up, I don't remember if I mentioned it before, but the actual vent actually fell down out of the headliner, and I have no idea how this was actually stuck up in here. I'm guessing maybe glue. I'm not really sure, but I had an idea to apply some glue all the way around if I can get my glue gun in here, or at least in certain spots, so that I can glue this in, because if I don't, what's going to happen is I won't be able to put the vents back in, because this is going to keep falling down. So let's see, let's see how this works. So I think I'll put a couple beads right here. And I could probably move it around, I'm not sure. I just want to be able to get some in here, you know? And I gotta be kind of quick, you know, because of, because it, it'll seal up pretty fast. It'll, set really quickly. And this is the first one I've done, so I'm not sure technique-wise, but I think I'll be able to get it in there. And because this glue doesn't set up right away, it allows me, enough time to kind of play around with it a little bit. Okay, I think that should be enough. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of hold it up in place like this. And it should set. It should bond really well with this, and I believe this will solve my problem. I actually had two vents that actually did this, and so now I shouldn't have no issue when I put the vent covers in. And I'm gonna go do the other ones as well. Okay, so I'm going to prep the board now for applying the headliner glue, and I need to cover the vent covers as well as all of these other openings here, so that when I spray it, the glue won't get all in there. So I'm just going to show you a little trick that I'm going to do for the vent covers. So all you need, I'm going to be using some masking tape, and then I'm using my razor. what my utility knife here. So basically, all I'm going to do is, and I'm using, I believe this is 1.5 inch piece. So all I'm going to do is do just like this. I'm going to tear it, and I'm making sure that the tape is actually stuck to the actual vent there. And the reason for that is because I'm going to use my utility knife to cut around it like so. And yeah, you got to be very careful doing this so that you don't cut the board. So to see, there you go. And so now it's covered. So now I could just spray right over it, and when I'm you know, done spraying it, all I gotta do is just peel it back, and there won't be any glue on the inside. So I went on ahead and turned the head liner board over, and I used the masking tape to cover up, you know, the holes. You know, like this here. You know, all those holes. You know, this one here. This one, I'm still thinking through that one. Use paper to cover up where the overhead console is. Let me turn it over so you can see it from the other side. Okay, so, see? So this will make it much easier for me to, you know, when I apply the spray, I'm just going to stick some shop towels in here, and as I spray over them, you know, and when I'm done, then I'll take it out and then transfer it to the other. So you see all of the holes are done in this one. Yeah, like I said, I'm still trying to think through this one because this bracket is here. I think I'm probably just gonna just stuff some paper down in here. And these holes are just yeah, I guess I could have covered them, but I'm not gonna worry about those. I just wanted to show you what it looks like on the inside if you've never seen it before. So right here, this is the rear blower motor that blows the AC or the heat through the rear vents. And that right there, that's actually connects on top of the blower motor, which attaches to the air duct on the headliner. So yeah, this is pretty much what it looks like. Those screws there, that's for the roof rack. And as you can see, you know, it's pretty structurally sound up in here. Right here, if you can see, is a little bit of rust, which I'm treating that now so that it doesn't get worse. I'm not sure if it's rusted from the outside or the inside. Not really sure. I don't see any rust on top, but I didn't move the rack either. Okay, and then this is the wiper motor assembly. This is the, this is the motor for the rear cargo door that lifts it up. Okay, so let me take you up towards the front. And yeah, this is up front, up here. So I just wanted to just show this just in case if someone needed, just was really curious about what it actually looks like. Okay, so I decided I'm gonna show you the mess I made. So yeah, as you can see, I've got parts laying around all over the place. You know, it just looks terrible in here. You know, look at this. This is the cargo organizer part of it. You know, I had to take the rear seats out. I didn't really have to, but I thought I did before I took the pillars off in the back to make it easier to take the headliner in and out. But yeah, I'm gonna get this all cleaned up, you know, once I'm done. So what I did was I used stockinteriors.com, and on the website they have a whole list of different colors for their headliners, which in my case is right here. So based off of the colors I saw online, they send you out free samples, up to 5. So I picked Sand Natural, which is M1784, Light Beige, M204, and Doeskin, M1711. And so they came in the mail, and these are it right here. So this is the Doeskin here. Okay, this one is the Sand Natural, and then this one is the Light Beige. So for oh, and also you can see that each one has the fabric and the foam attached, so it's just one piece. See, it's like that for both of them. So what I did was I took a piece of the headliner off in the area where it wasn't exposed to sun or anything like that and dirt, which is this one here. And as you see, it's like a perfect match to the sand/natural, which the color in our van is taupe, but this is like the best match. And as you can see, you know, this is what the original looks like here. So let me go ahead and order this, and as soon as it comes in, I'll be back. So after ordering it online, it took about 3 days for it to get here. It also comes with 2 cans of headliner glue, so you pretty much should have everything that you need for the price. This one, as you can see, there's more than enough room going across, especially as it dips down, and it's 60 inches across, and I don't remember how long it is. It's on the website. I'll actually show that to you later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and unroll this, and then go ahead and lay it out on the headliner. So these are the 2 cans of spray that came with the headliner. And here's the headliner fabric all laid out. So as you can see, you know, there's plenty of overlap, you know, on all sides. And there's plenty of extra, which you can see right here. This is the back, and this is all extra here. So I'm going to trim this down some, and then I'm going to go ahead and start applying the glue and getting this headliner glued on here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this, and what you want to do is you want to do it in small sections, and the directions on here, you have to let it set up for 2 minutes before you actually put both surfaces together. So I'm going to spray it on the headliner board as well as the headliner itself. And what I'm doing now is I'm just going to spread this back to probably about the middle point, like right here. And be very careful to make sure that the headliner is even. Because if it's not, it's not going to smooth out correctly. So I'm actually going to go sideways. It's going to be kind of hard, but I'm just going to have to walk around when I do it. So I'm going to apply it to the board first, and then I'm going to apply it to the headliner. And this particular spray actually comes out more so like a web. So you can see how it sprays out like a web there. And so I'm going to let this set up some, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly work on both sides using my hand to smooth it out. Just like that. So I'm going to pause the video here, and then I'll come back in a couple minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start slowly working it this way to apply it. And you have to make sure that with this particular adhesive, you have a total of 6 to 8 minutes to apply both pieces together. So you got to kind of sort of work fast. And I can actually tell you right now, this adhesive, it already dried. It dried so fast. So I got to do it over because it dried way too fast. Apparently it took longer than what I anticipated. So I'll come back. Okay, so I'm done applying the headliner and glue, and right now I'm about to trim off the excess headliner. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fold it over. So I'm probably going to leave about maybe a 1/2 inch to 1 inch all the way around as I cut. And when I get to like this part here, I'm actually going to cut it in slants like that. That way I can fold it in. And this will prevent it from coming apart in the future, because when it started coming apart up here because the headliner only went to the edge right here. Okay, so I'm all done, and as you can see, I went on here and overlapped it all the way around. When I got to these parts here, this was the first one I did, but what you want to do is make your slits equal to these fins here, and then that way when you can fold them into there. But it's like that all the way around. See, like this one is the one I did like that. So I'm gonna just, take you around so that you can kind of see how I did it. Make sure you have lots of rubber gloves, because you're going to be changing them quite often, because you don't want glue to get on the headliner or dirt or anything like that. And then also make sure you use the glue in a well ventilated area. So now I'm going to turn it over so you can see that side. Okay, so here's the other side, and it turned out pretty good. There were some areas, because you know how this right here, this is actually the way the board is made. But like in where I just call it the valley here, man, it's like really hard trying to make sure that you get the glue to stick really good when you're putting the fabric down, because some areas it's actually, you can see where it's up, like right over there. And I think it may be because of the type of glue that I use, because it dried like really fast. So use some really good glue, because what I end up using, those two cans, I had bought this from AutoZone, and this actually works much better because it doesn't dry as fast, and it allows you to be able to take your time when you're applying it. So yeah, so I mean, it looks pretty good. Definitely looks better than what it did before. And then back here, I kind of messed up when I was trying to smooth this part out, and I got these wrinkles in here. Well, I can't get that out, but not a big deal. And so this is what it looks like from the front. And then you can also see, you see kind of waves and everything like that. I probably should have went in the house and got my roller to use to smooth it out. But, that's okay. I'm going to live with it. I'm not going to trip about it. I'm thankful that I was able to do it. So now I'm going to cut out all the holes and everything, so that when I put it back in, I'll be able to put all of the, the vent covers and everything, and overhead console and all of that inside. Okay, so I'm all done with cutting out all of the holes in the headliner, as you can see here. I used these scissors here to trim the excess headliner fabric off, and I used my utility knife to start the hole for it. And as you can see, it did a pretty good job. Yeah, even with the smaller holes, it turned out real well. I also put in the vent covers on it there. So the other thing that I just wanted to show you is I got the door open. It's daytime. As you can kind of sort of see in the valley part, certain parts like right here, I didn't do a good job with making sure that the fabric was actually glued to the actual board. So just make sure when you're applying this that you make sure that you get this part real well, because if you look down, you can kind of see certain spots where it's not necessarily flat. I don't think it's going to come up or anything, but just so that you know. And I think where I made the mistake was I should have applied the glue up until this point, all the way around, and then went up on the side like that instead of the way I did it. So outside of that, I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I think it's going to look good once I put it inside. So I'm replacing the heat/sound barriers that I ended up pulling off. Actually, they came off when I was pulling the headliner down, and these are 3 different sizes here. And what I'm using is this X-Mat low profile all-purpose heat and sound barrier from Eastwood. I forgot how much I paid for this, but anyway, it's 12 by 12 and size in 1/16 inch thick. And so let's see, how many do you get in here? Looks like you get about 4 of them in here, and I just used 1 so far to cut these pieces out. Let me show you where I put them. Okay, so there's 1 there, and then there's another one there, and then 1 down there. Okay, so for this area right here, what I'm going to do, I already cleaned this off with some pre-painting prep. I masked off a small little area and everything, covered up down here with a tarp. And this is the painter's plastic and tape that I use, which is already on there. This actually works really good. And what I'm going to apply is I'm going to apply this rust encapsulator on there. Something, real simple, just to, stop the rust. I'm actually going to apply 3 coats. Okay, so I am ready to reinstall the headliner, and I've already put her in the inside. And what you want to do when you're putting it in through the back, kind of turn it in an angle like this as you're pushing in. Now, I'm working by myself, so it's a little more difficult, but if you have 2 people, that will work best for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to try to lift it past these middle, the rear pillars here, because these I was not able to get off because there's a screw down there that I just can't get to in order to pull that off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to untape the cables here that's going to actually go down the side here. This is what connects all of the power to the lights and overhead console, the rear habit controls. So I'm going to untape that, make sure those are hanging down. And then if you did take this bracket off, make sure that you reinstall this on top, which in my case, I'm just going to place it right over there. I'm gonna position it off camera, but that's where it goes. All right, so I've already put all of the wires through the headliner. Which you want to do that. The bracket is in. I did this on both sides. Same here, and then the rear light there. And so my ideal is what I'm going to try to do is, because when I pulled this out, I kind of pulled this down. I think I should be able to push it up, like do this in an angle and get it up there, if I'm able to get underneath in the middle. So I'm going to try that and see if that works. I almost forgot. Make sure if you put the rubber seal back up on all the doors, pull it back down, because you're not going to be able to reinstall it if you don't do that. So I'm going to do that now. So I got it up pretty easily. I put the 4 Christmas tree tabs in. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 3 in the back. I'll show you that in a minute. I've already pushed this pillar back in. Make sure that you tuck this part of the headliner board behind the window installation here. So you see these are the 3, the 1, 2, 3. Also make sure that, which I did not show this, but this piece right here comes off. Make sure you have this in place before you actually put the headliner up, because when I got it up, I had to take it back down because I forgot to attach this, because this is what blows your heat and air conditioning through to the upper vents back here in the rear. Okay, so next installing the coat hooks, which is just a Phillips screw. Just push it right in there. So I'm going to do all 4. Okay, correction. I only installed the rear 2 coat hooks because this part of the headliner is still kind of hanging down on the sides. So what I'm going to do to make it easier, I'm going to go ahead and install the Sun Visor, which is this part here, and it takes a Torx 20 T20 bit for the screw here. So I'm going to go ahead and install them on both driver and passenger side. Got the Sun Visors in, and I must say that they were a pain in the butt. It was just really hard trying to line up these screws here, and the wire that I pulled down, you have to actually tuck it. You got to pull the headliner down some and then tuck it behind. So yeah, so now I'm going to go ahead and install the front side pillars on both sides. So both front pillars are pretty much on. Now I'm about to drape the wires down, reconnect them on the floor, and put this pillar back up on both sides. So I just wanted to show you this. So basically all I have to do is use the Christmas tree fasteners and just stick them right here, okay, like this, because it actually goes behind the goes behind the pillar here, okay. And then on this side here, this is the connector. I gotta take the tape off, of course, but it connects right there. So I'm gonna connect it to that and then put this all back together. Okay, so I finished putting the pillar on, as well as putting the the door seal back on. So that's how it looks. I still have to put the seat belt back on, and let me show you that. Okay, so this is the passenger seat belt, and as you can see here, they use some red Loctite on there. So I'm gonna clean that off and reapply some red Loctite. And the size of the socket that you're going to need is 13/16. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on, and I'm gonna finish up all the way around, and I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so here's one of the seat belts installed. Don't forget, put red Loctite on the bolt, and all it is just screw the bolt in. Well, you lift the cover up, and you can use screwdriver. I would suggest trim panel removal tool, because it won't scratch the plastic. To pop this up, and you just close it like so. And then of course, you know, you adjust it however which way that you need it. And then right down here, there's a screw, which I'll show you. I put it in the bag. This screw right here goes in this hole, and then you know, this cover just pops right in there. I just wanted to point this out, that the third row seat belts is a smaller nut. Use a 14 millimeter ratcheting wrench to tighten this down. Okay, seat belts are all connected, and for this one over here, I end up using a socket, 14 millimeter socket with an extension, 6-inch extension, to be able to get the bolt up in there. Alright, so now I'm about to put in the rear pillars here. So this is the driver's side, and we have the automatic lift gate, which is this here. So basically, let me see if I can show you. It just really just slides right in. I'm actually going to have to use both hands, but the thing is that the arm here is, I'm just going to fit it through here and then attach it. And then you know, I have this side over here. I need to put that one up as well. Got the rear pillars in. As you can see, gotta fix this one right here. Oh, there we go. Gotta kind of push that up underneath there. But then I put the middle one up, and then the side one over there. So these are, you know, pretty easy. So this is the third row light, and this is it right here. Ours does not turn on and off. It you know, individually from the rest of the lights in here. So when we have the interior light on, this turns on. And as you can see, this is the connector here. And all it does is, you know, it just slips up in here like this, and then you just push it up. And this is the front latch here. So I can't show you how to connect it, but just connect the wire and just slip it up in there. The reason why is because I don't have my tripod. Third row light is installed. Now about to do the second row light, which pretty much is the same thing. You know, this one here, as you can see, goes this way because the tabs go right here. Okay, and then it has the front lip right here that it catches on right here. This is the connector for it, which this one is right there for the connector, and you just kind of just slip it up here. And this one actually you could turn on and off. You know, you hear it click. So let me go ahead and install that. Okay, correction. The connector is right here for it, because this is all the length that I have, and I haven't, you know, done anything to it. And I was trying to figure out, like, man, it's not going to reach right here. So I'm not sure what this is. All right, so here are the rear Havoc controls, and these are the two connectors for it. And as you can see right here, there's one and there's the other. You can't mix them up because they're both different. And it pretty much has these clamps right here that fixes up in here. So, you know, pretty easy. So basically all of these outside of the front overhead console, you can take out without really any kind of tool. Havoc controls are all installed, no problem. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the overhead console in the front. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and install the center console, and you just have two connectors. This one here, okay, and then this one right here, in which basically one connector, oh sorry about that, is, where did it go? Oh, right here, and then the other one is this one right here, and then it just has the two clips, one and then the other one's right here, and then the torque screw that goes right here. Okay, so this overhead console is installed, and just make sure you check to make sure everything works. So I have the parking lights on, and as you can see, well, you probably can't now, but all the lights are on. Yeah, see, all the lights are on. So yeah, that is basically it. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this opportunity and just clean her up, shampoo the carpet, vacuum, and everything like that. So until next time, well, actually, you know what? I'll come back and I'll show you the headliner in the daylight, because right now I'm in the garage. Okay, so I'm outside, and I just wanted to show you the headliner, in natural light, and it actually looks really good. It looks really good. Even some of the spots that, like right here, where the wrinkles are, you really can't see them too much because of the pillars here. And then there was one on this side too, so it's not that bad. Let me take you to the middle. So you see, it doesn't look bad at all. I'm very pleased with how it turned out, and it was definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. And also, I did do detail cleaning on the inside. So the headliner, it actually gives that new car smell to it. Looks really nice. Yeah, check it out. Even after 17 years, raising 5 kids, our minivan looks great. I actually did a total detailing on the inside. You have to excuse my chips. Cleaned everything. Shampooed the carpets, the seats, even the went on ahead, cleaned the windows, did the vinyl or the plastic. So yeah. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments. You guys have a blessed day.